Hello. Uh, Hopefully you could hear me. I'm just checking on Twitch to see if I can hear myself. Bear with me. Hello. Yes, I can. Right, we are back up and running. We are live. Okay. Um, let's get a message out on Discord to say that we have restarted. Okay, we've got two viewers back. Good evening. Welcome to hopefully the last restart of our Twitch experience tonight. So this is the Gear Society inaugural Formula One F1 2020 league race at Sochi, Russia. So we've had one or two issues this evening, which seems to be the case quite often with F1 2021 as a game. It's definitely got one or two glitches and issues. We had free practice earlier on for an hour. We had 11 drivers that were able to join us for free practice, and the rest of the drivers that tried to come in once that free practice started were unable to join. And we had to reset the game for qualifying. We've managed to complete qualifying with 15 drivers on board, but unfortunately we hit a bit of a glitch coming out of qualifying and going into the race, and unfortunately we've had to restart our session, and also unfortunately for us restart the Twitch stream. We did have 10 viewers on at the end there, which is a shame. Hopefully we'll find the rest of those viewers and they'll come back to us, but we are now on F1 2021 Season 1 Race 1 Part 2 from Sochi, Russia. We have three members of the admin team that are on board with this race tonight. They've done a fantastic job of getting everything reset up, and I think that they have put the cars back on the grid in the order that they completed qualifying on our last session. So MB Pits has just sent his first message through on this stream of Twitch saying good luck all. Good luck to him as well. Or have you dropped out? I can't see your name on the list. Have you actually dropped out, MB Pits? That's a real shame if you have. Royco boosting, have a good race, guys. Yep, let's hope that they do. I'm certainly got my fingers crossed for an exciting and high quality race on F1 2021. We've seen some really fast driving here so far tonight. It's been very impressive after some issues in free practice. It started in the rain, which proved to be very difficult for everybody to keep the cars going and on track. MB Pitts dropped out, power cut. Oh, that's a real shame. He's actually doing well as well, qualified mid-pack. Hopefully that's a one-off and we won't have those issues next week. But it is what it is. These things happen. Frustrating, but what can you do? What can you do? So we are here, Gear Society F1 2021. We should hopefully have 14 drivers joining us for the race now, with MB Pitts dropping out. In case you're just joining us and you didn't pick up any of the part one of this stream, we are running our first F1 2021 league. This is the first race of that league. and it's literally put us straight in without giving us any chance to get set. So it looks like Georgester has got away well, and from the looks of the cars as well, we have actually managed to start on the tyres that they qualified on in terms of their the compound that they qualified on, which is really good because the cars, some of the cars further up the field had actually done their qualifying on medium tyres, which should hopefully give them a bit of a tyre advantage during the race. We'll see how that goes. Car in second positions on mediums. If he can hang on to that position and hang on to the coattails of Georgester, that will certainly give him a tyre advantage later on in the race, as he's able to stretch that first set of tyres out a little bit longer, as long as he doesn't take too much out of them, trying to defend against Stupp 1985. It looks like we've only got 13 drivers in, not 14, so we lost someone else, unfortunately. It's a real shame. No formation lap here, Roy, and as you can see from the streaming point of view, no chance to get yourself set up or go through the starting grid or anything else. It's literally immediately go, which is something I need to be ready for next time. Yeah, okay, so first lap complete. We've got Georgester, followed by Robbo, followed by Stupp 1985. We've got Alex. Bring up position changes. So we've got Alex, who's lost the position. Tasso, who's made up 4 positions on that first lap. So obviously very good driving from Tasso. He's been one of our fastest and most competitive drivers when we've been running practice nights and fun races to try and get ourselves up to speed and ready for this first F1 2021 league. We've got Duffman, who's made up 2 places behind Tasso. If you look there, so predicted stop strategy is a 1-stop race, either soft to mediums or mediums to hards. So if they can make a soft to medium work, then maybe starting on the mediums is not an advantage. I'm not sure that soft to mediums will be enough. It looks like Stupp is putting Robbo under some serious pressure now. He's obviously got the tyre advantage early in the race on the softs compared to Robbo's mediums. And if he's going to get in front of him and make those tyres work, he's going to need to do it early. Georgester, another purple lap, extending his lead. We're out to 2.9 seconds now. Now you heard that beep, and you can see from the telemetry at the bottom, when you go into a DRS zone, drag reduction system zone, the purple lights on the right hand side at the bottom there at the rev limiter lights, you'll get one purple light that comes up to tell you that DRS is available. And when you open the DRS system, so when you open the flap on the back wing, and the second purple light will come up to tell you that you've got that system open. So if we follow Robbo, he's close enough actually to get DRS next time it's available. At the moment, if you're within 1 second of the car in front, you'll get that opportunity. Then you can see the 2 purple lights there on the right hand side of his rev counter. That means he's got his DRS open, he's running less drag. That should give him a speed boost, and you'll see him close right up as they come into the next corner, and then that'll automatically close as they brake into that turn. Robbo looking to get his position back. Looks like everyone's got through cleanly so far. We've got 1 penalty for Kingsley, so 3-second penalty. Generally speaking, 3-second penalty is for off track. So if you run a little bit wide and gain an advantage, or if you run wide too often even without gaining an advantage, it will give you a penalty. Yeah, that's a multiple warnings penalty. So Choice Tag Bro Kenny Lemons has also now picked one of those up. Some very close racing here between second, third and fourth. Robbo got that place back. Stupp still fighting to get back in front of him, and as they're slowing each other down fighting, Alex is now starting to catch back up to the back of those two. Oh, careful, careful. If you tag the car in front, generally speaking, that will be a 5-second penalty for both cars, which there's a lot of people that think that that's really unfair, especially when you're the car in front and you're getting hit by the car behind. But quite often it's both cars that end up with a penalty, and we've just seen Alex go really wide there, pushing to get back involved in the fight with these two guys in front of him. Let's ride on board with Alex for a minute. Certainly driving on a ragged edge. Looks like he's losing a bit of pace compared to the two guys in front through that third sector. It's very technical, the third sector. Really tightens up as far as this track goes. It's a big wide track, lots of runoff on this first and second sectors. The third sector becomes really technical, and wow, some really close racing there between Robbo and Stupp. They're trading positions. Oh, late on the brakes there from Alex to go around the outside. Didn't expect that when I changed cameras to Stupp. I thought he was a little bit too far back to make a move. And we can see now the cars further down the pack are really starting to stack up the penalties. So we've now got Kingsley, Fat Bloke Racing, Choice Tag Bro and Deke all with 3-second penalties for off-track warnings. There's Alex now trying to make a move on Robbo. Really needs to get in front of Robbo and make the pace of those soft tyres pay for him and work for him and give him the advantage that he needs early in this race before they start to go off. Okay. Let's have a look further down the field. We've got Wickham Boy putting some pressure on Kingsley. We've actually got Iceman in 8th position, who's gone out on hard tyres. Wow, that's a very interesting choice to start the race, and he's doing extremely well on those. That's a very difficult tyre to drive, especially when you've got a full load of fuel. And then further at the back, we've got Savages, just over a second off of Duffman. Definitely looks like the main action is still at the front with these two guys, Alex and Robbo, both hardened ACC drivers that have transferred their skills over to F1. The longer this battle goes on, the more the advantage that Robbo's medium tyres are going to give him as those softs start to wear out and overheat, which happens very, very quickly in this game. We've got another penalty. Iceman's just picked up a penalty for multiple warnings. We've now got 6 cars with 3-second time penalties for multiple warnings. And those warnings will keep racking up and the penalties will keep racking up. We had a race on Tuesday night, our last warm-up race before tonight's first league race. 2 cars that were within a second of each other with 1 lap to go. The car in front had 5 seconds worth of penalty time and needed to pull a 5-second gap on the last lap, and actually managed to do that and keep the position that he had by 0.08 of a second. As we see Alex with DRS. A little bit early on the brakes, didn't fancy pushing his luck up the inside there. Thought he might have gone for that. I think he had the position, and he certainly braked early enough to maybe have held that corner. Probably a little bit too early. Robbo's been quite an uncompromising driver on F1. He knows that he needs to keep that position and make those mediums a real advantage over Alex. Lost 9 seconds now to Georgester, so it's not really working out for Robbo in terms of the race win potentially starting on these tyres, but second position, if he can stay in front on those mediums, should really be nailed on. We've got a message from MB Pitts. Penalties really could make a massive difference. You're absolutely right, they really will. A good move there from Alex. I think this battle looks like it's going to carry on for a good few laps. Change camera types and get on the outside and see what we can pick up. They really are. Oh, wow. Wow, that was close. The quality of the driving between these guys at the front is absolutely fantastic. You have to be extremely wary when you're driving one of these cars. They are very, very fragile, so the fact that they're comfortable driving that close together really shows you what kind of skill levels they've got, how much practice they've put in, and how comfortable they are driving these cars. That was brilliant. Roykos said it's a good thing this game's got an in-game steward. Yes, mate, you definitely don't need stewards. It does that for you. That might make ACC a little bit easier if they had in-game stewards on ACC. I must admit, when you do get hit by the car behind and you get a penalty, it is a little bit frustrating, but everybody knows that's how it works. You definitely can't afford to brake test the car behind in this game if anyone was ever going to do something so dirty, but it can be very costly to say the least. A little bit wide there from Robbo. He knows he needs to keep onto the back of Alex. What these two guys really can't afford to do is to push it too hard and pick up any of those time penalties. Really doesn't want to waste that tyre advantage by starting to pick up penalties for off tracks. Just to remind anyone that's watching that's not aware, this is our first F1 league race. It's a 6-race season. We are racing at the Sochi Autodrome tonight in Russia. We've got a race every Thursday for the next 5 weeks after today. The second race next Thursday is at Australia. We then move on the 3rd of Feb to USA to the Circuit of the Americas. On the 10th of Feb we go to the Jeddah Street Circuit at Saudi Arabia. That's really, really going to be one to watch. And then we are off for the 5th race of the season on the 17th of Feb to Azerbaijan to the Baku City Street Circuit. Some more fantastic racing here with Iceman right up behind Wickham Boy. Georgester's built himself up quite a lead, and we have got some big gaps starting to appear between some of the little packs, but what we have got is very good, very close racing for 2 or 3 cars pretty much throughout the track at the moment. We've got this battle at the moment for 5th position with Kingsley, Wickham Boy and Iceman. A little bit deep there from Kingsley. Everyone needs to be careful. Really don't want to hit the car in front. Not only will you get a penalty, but you'll very likely get some front wing damage as well. It's very difficult to hold onto the car around the fast corners here at Sochi if you've got front wing damage. Almost definitely you'll need to come in And we see Kingsley's actually picked up his second 3-second penalty. He's now got 6 seconds of penalty in total. You can see Wicked Boy going for a move. He's got DRS. Iceman also had DRS there. Kingsley almost lost 2 positions in one straight. Wow, this is good racing. And it actually looks like while these guys are fighting it out, behind them, Fat Bloke Racing is starting to catch up on this little group of drivers in front. He was 7 seconds behind just a couple of laps ago. He's now less than 3 seconds behind Iceman, catching this pack. It's always the danger when you're busy fighting the cars in front. You give the opportunity for the cars behind to catch up. We've got, yeah, that was only a slight off track, that yellow flag. Everyone's still going. Wow. It really is nip and tuck. I don't know if you prefer the onboards or if you prefer to go to the broadcast camera, which view you like. Let me know in the Twitch chat and I'll try and give you what you want. Craig Rob 87, USA will be interested in some high speed cornering. Yes mate, it will. I think as well, for me, the most interesting races will be the 2 street circuits at Jeddah and Baku. They're both very, very difficult. There's going to be an awful lot of Code Brown moments, I think, as we would describe them. Iceman has passed Wickham Boy as well. We have Wickham Boy has gone from 2nd to 1st to 3rd in this group over the last couple of laps. Iceman now closing in on Kingsley, who started this group battle first a couple of laps ago, ended up at the back, has got himself back to the front. Which car to focus on? It's almost too difficult to track. And Fat Bloke is slowly reining them all in. He's now less than 2 seconds behind Wickham Boy. Come on, Fat Bloke, get in on the action. Let's make this a 4-car race rather than just a 3-car race. And we can see at the front, Jolster's come in and made his first pit stop, and he's gone to mediums after 12 laps. So yeah, it's not like it was on Tuesday night. Those tyres actually seem to be lasting a whole lot better tonight, not unless Jolster was taking it easy and trying to make him last that much longer. But he's got those soft tyres to get him through the first 12 laps. 15 laps left to do on the mediums. He should be able to make that work. So this should be a one-stopper for Jolster. Having made that pit stop, he's out in 4th. And he should be comfortably back in front by the time the guys in front come in for their pit stops. You have to make at least one stop. It's a mandatory stop on F1. Alex still on the coattails of Robbo, still within a second, but you can see he's actually picked up 3 seconds worth of penalty time, which effectively means in real terms he's now almost 4 seconds behind Robbo, and he's actually now really behind Tasso. Whilst he's in front of him on the road, that 3 seconds will get added on to his finishing time. So that's going to be a big relief to Tasso. He'll know that all he's got to do is stay close, and he knows he'll pick that position up from Alex. And the other thing that's important in that is we are also running a team competition, not just individual drivers. We've also got team contests going on, so the drivers have paired up, and Tasso is actually in SRT, Slipstream Racing Team, with Robbo, so they are teammates, and effectively in real terms they're currently 2nd and 3rd on the road. That is an awful lot of points for Team SRT. We've got Stark Industries Racing, Georgester races for. He's currently in first place, so maximum points for Georgester. Also, looks like he'd potentially pick up points for fastest lap as well. His teammate is Duffman, who currently is running down back in 10th position. So some way down the field, but he's not running any penalties. So the other drivers have to be careful. He could easily make up a number of places, not through overtaking cars, but just through driving cleanly by the time all those penalties are added on at the end of the race. Yeah, the bottom three's changed, so it's yeah, so they're starting to make their stops. So if I just bring that graphic up, you can see who's stopped, who's in the pits. So yeah, we are getting some big differentials, but that's the cars that have stopped compared to those that haven't. And we've actually got Derek making his second stop there in 12th position. He made a stop early on. I would imagine that was through front wing damage. Oh. So that was Derek there trying to be helpful and get out of the way of the leaders coming through. Actually ended up being a little bit too helpful. Helped himself to a handful of power into his rear tyres, lit it up, spun it round, and lost another few seconds. That's a shame, unfortunately, there for Derek. You definitely want to get out of the way. You don't want to be stuck with blue flags. In this game, you will get a penalty if you don't get out of the way quick enough. So you've still got Robbo in the lead, not yet made a stop. Alex is actually closing in behind him. Is he going to go for a dive? We've got a tight right hander at the bottom of this. No, he's going to sit back and wait. He's really done a fantastic job at eking out these soft tyres. We're now on lap 14 and he's still going. Imagine surely that Alex is going to need to come in at the end of this lap. Can't keep those softs going for too much longer. If we look at the position changes there so far, we've got Robbo and Alex both up one position. To be fair, that's just because George's made a pit stop that they haven't made yet. Tasso's the big winner of the front three, up 6 positions from his starting place. That's fantastic driving from Tasso. George there showing him as down 3 positions, but that's, like I say, it's just because he's had a tyre stop that they haven't had yet. He'll regain those positions once they all come in for a tyre change. Iceman up 8 positions. Don't think he's had a stop yet either. No, he hasn't. And the same for Fat Bloke, who's also showing us up 5 positions. So those guys, whilst it looks good on the road at the moment, it's not real. That will change once they come in for their stops. That's another penalty that's been dished out. I've actually got my Twitch bar at the top of the screen, so I can't see who that was for. Let's have a look. So, wow, yeah, the penalties are really starting to rack up now. We're now up to 6 seconds of penalty for Iceman, Fat Bloke, Choice Tag Pro, Kingsley, Savage and Derek. At some point, those minor 3-second penalties are going to become 5 and 10-second penalties for multiple off tracks. Excuse me. If you have too many, you can actually get disqualified, so you really need to be careful. And we've got Alex now coming into the pits. And one of the other things here is we don't have pit assist on. You've seen Alex going very, very gingerly into the pit lane. What we found in the practice sessions, we had a lot of extra penalties for speeding in the pit lane. So drivers are being really cautious and making sure that they don't make that mistake. It's a big penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Nobody wants to pick one of those up. So that's George to back up into 2nd position until Robbo makes his pit stop. Let's have a look what we got here. Close racing. So we've got Kingsley back up behind Wickenboy now. He's got 6 seconds of penalty, and Wickenboy's got none. So if he's going to make up that position, he's going to need to get past him and get away from him. At the moment, it looks like he's maybe pushing it just a little bit too hard, trying to make up that space. I'm no expert, but I think being quick, driving a Formula 1 car is all about being smooth, being able to get the power on nice and early. They're definitely not point and squirt cars. So what else have we got close here? We've now got Iceman and Alex. That's another penalty that's come in. Forgive me, I can't see who that's for now. I'm just looking at a sea of 6-second penalties. If anyone's not on tonight that is going to be joining us for F1 racing, or anyone that's in this race that watches this stream at some point, big lesson to be learnt here. Keep it on the track. Don't pick those penalties up. It's an absolute waste of time. It looks like actually that was Derek that got that penalty. He's now up to 9 seconds of penalty time, which is pretty enormous to say the least. You're getting to the point where it would almost have been cheaper to have had another pit stop than pick up these penalties. It's really, really important to keep it clean. Tasso going past Iceman. Iceman still hasn't made a stop yet. He's on the hard tyre. He started on the hard tyre. So he clearly needs to push them for another few laps. I would imagine he'll probably go on to softs, try and give himself a tyre advantage at the end of the race compared to everybody else, and try and make up some time and potentially make up a couple of positions through running on nice, new, fresh, soft tyres at the end of the race. The only other driver that's not yet made a stop is Fat Bloke Racing. FBR in 6th position at the moment, 5 seconds behind Iceman. He's got the same amount of penalty time, so he's not going to make up the position through penalty time. Now he's started on softs. He's done 16 laps on those soft tyres, Fat Bloke. I would imagine that he's going to go on to mediums for his second stint. So he's potentially going to have a tyre disadvantage compared to Iceman. So if he thought that he was going to stretch those softs out and give himself a better chance, that may not work out for him. Going on to the mediums, you want to get the most out of them. Probably an extra lap or two on those mediums at the end of the stint is going to be better for him than yet more laps on those current softs. What have we got in terms of tight racing here at the moment now? So we're on board with Robbo, chasing down Alex. So it looks like Alex actually got in front of Robbo on the pit stops. I haven't seen Robbo having any issues. Robbo's just come out of the pits. This is his first lap on these soft tyres. Alex is on the mediums. He's got DRS, so he's within a second. He will start to rein that time in, and then we should go back to what we had at the beginning of the race, which is some really good. And Alex has gone wide. I think he can see Robbo coming. He knows Robbo's got fresh soft tyres on. He knows this is going to be difficult. Your natural reaction is to push, push, push. Biker Craig 21, Derek's now 12. Yeah, 12 seconds. I think that's 12 seconds of penalty. He seems to be spending more time off track than on it, I think. Yeah, it hasn't turned out to be a great night, unfortunately, for Derek. It's a real shame. He's really quick at driving these F1 cars. He's got himself a new steering wheel and load cell pedal set not too long ago, and I know from racing against him, he was absolutely monster on the brakes, incredibly late braking. It just hasn't worked out for him tonight. I'm sure it'll come together for him on one of the other league races, no doubt. I think the great thing about these F1 cars and the way that this season is set up with the team racing, there's always something to battle for, even if it's not for you. Trying to get some extra points with your teammate to try and get yourself up the team leaderboard is going to be key. And you know, anybody cannot finish a race in this. So even if you're a couple of races in and you're a long, oh, wow. Yeah, these two are back at it again. Oh, careful, Alex. Wow. Ooh, sorry. That's a Code Brown moment there for Alex and for me. Too much vodka intake before starting Russia. You might be right. I'm not sure if Derek is a vodka man, but then again, I think he's probably one of those that will drink anything kind of guys. So I know that he joins as soon as he gets in from work. He doesn't have a lot of time to practice, which puts him a little bit on the back foot. I don't think he gets 2 minutes to relax when he comes through the door. We've had a few nights where he's actually eating his dinner while he's driving his car, which is not ideal. Harry gets the food through his crash helmet. I'm really not sure, but yeah, I think that's the beauty of sim racing rather than real racing. Although, to be fair, we do know that Fat Bloke Racing often pulls into the pits for a burger. So we've got Jordster currently sitting in first position. His teammate Duffman back down in 8th position at the moment. Starting to get a little bit tight now amongst that group again. So we've got Kingsley 2.5 behind Wickham Boy. Kingsley's got penalties that Wickham Boy hasn't. In fact, there's only 3 cars now on track that haven't got penalties against them. We've then got Duffman. Now he's only 2 and a bit seconds behind Kingsley, but he's got 3 seconds less of penalty time. So as long as he can fastest lap, as long as he can hold on to that 2 and a bit second gap, he'll actually pick up that position. He'll move up to 7th place automatically. He really needs to be keeping an eye on that gap and making sure that he doesn't waste that advantage that he's got in terms of penalty seconds. We've then got Fat Bloke Racing, 3 seconds behind Duffman, but with 3 seconds of extra penalty, so technically 6 seconds back. Everyone's really just starting to really settle into to a rhythm. Everyone's settled down. Not too much pushing. That will change at the end. People's tyres will start to go off. People will start to realise that actually they've only got a couple of laps left to make a difference. As we go back on board with Alex, chasing down Robbo. Alex needs to try and stay close. Hope that Robbo pushes a little bit too hard on those tyres and he gets an opportunity to get past him and create some fresh air between the two of them. It's going to be very difficult with that 6 seconds of penalty. We've got Robbo and Tasso. SRT, Slipstream Racing Team. They are definitely at the moment the big winners, I think, tonight in terms of the team battle. Tasso can just pick up another second on Alex. He'll actually overtake him once the penalties are applied. Oh, we've got a slow car. Iceman's come out. Oh, don't slow him down. Got blue flags, mate. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't want any contact. Sorry, Iceman, I'm doing you a disservice, mate. That's your teammate. Stuck 1985. You come out the pits. You're in amongst the battle with the leaders. The problem that he's got is he's going to be fast on those fresh red wall tyres. I get that he wants to unlap himself, but you know, these guys are racing for the win. You're a long way behind the next car that you're battling with. Yeah, he has gone for the overtake. Actually, a very good move, to be honest, but he now really needs to get his foot down, and it might actually give Alex a boost, because it will give him an opportunity to get DRS and might actually improve his lap time sitting in the slipstream of Stump. Stump should be quick on those new soft tyres. We've got a supporter from Kingsley on the Twitch. Come on, Kingsley, push. Queen Savage 90. Yeah, come on, Kingsley, push. He needs you to push. Oh, he's picked up another 3 seconds of penalty. He's up to 9 seconds now. Oh, well. We've got a position change between Duffman and Fat Bloke. So Fat Bloke has caught up pretty quickly and got past Duffman now. He's going to need to get a 3-second gap over Duffman to make that last on the track, because he's got 3 seconds of extra penalty time. But it definitely looks like he's pulling away pretty quickly. Catching up to Kingsley now. So Fat Bloke Racing is the man on the charge at the moment. I did say it'll all start coming together again towards the end. It's always the way. You get a settled period in the middle of the race, and then as the different tyre strategies start to play out, brings the cars back together again, and everyone gets that little extra push as they know that they're starting to run out of laps and they've got to make a move now. He tries to go around the outside and gets pushed out wide. You never know how it's going to go if you get contact with these cars. If you get your tyres hooked up, it's really difficult to tell which car is going to be slung off track. It can be both of you, it can be neither of you. It's really random. He's got DRS. He's going up the inside. Another good move there from Fat Bloke Racing. That's another position. He's also increased the gap between himself and Duffman, and that's definitely helped now, having Kingsley in between Fat Bloke and Duffman. That should help Fat Bloke to pull away a little bit further. He's actually got his own teammate in front of him now, Wickham Boy. Now, if they're working as a team, the thing to do now would be to let Fat Bloke overtake Wickham Boy and build up a bit of a lead. Wickham Boy to act as a bit of a barrier to slow down the cars behind. Definitely don't want any teammate crashes. Nicely done there from Wickham Boy. He now needs to hold back the next two. Wickham Boy doesn't have any penalties, so he can afford to just run close with Kingsley and Duffman and still beat both of them on track once their penalties are picked up. Oh, there you go. Fat Bloke has just picked up another 3 seconds. He's now up to 9 seconds. Which actually means that Duffman technically is now back in front of Fat Bloke. Wow, the penalties are really, really going to come into play. Yeah, we got Biker Craig has noted that Derek's now up to 18 seconds. I think if he's not careful, he's going to get disqualified. There is a point at which the game says, yeah, enough's enough, mate. You can't keep it on the track. It's time for you to park it up and go home. I don't think he's far away from that now. I did say at the start we was really hoping to get everyone that started the race to finish the race, and I have to say, if you'd have asked me to put money on it, I wouldn't have said that that was possible from what we've seen in the test races that we've had up to now. But the driving standard has been fantastic. The number of incidents has been really, really low considering how close the racing has been. I'm really, really impressed with the people that have joined us for the racing tonight. We've seen some fantastic wheel-to-wheel action. It's been really, really impressive. Okay, we go. On board with Kingsley as he tries to put some pressure on Wickham Boy. Wickham Boy doesn't need to worry about being too racy here. He needs to make sure that he doesn't have any off tracks, doesn't pick up any penalties. If he gets overtaken, it really doesn't matter too much. He's effectively got a 9-second advantage against Kingsley built in. Just don't do anything rash. Don't want to wheel off with a lap or two to go. Jump back up to the front. So I think the real race at the moment, Georgia has absolutely destroyed the rest of the field. He's got 21-second lead. We did say throughout free practice and qualifying that he was likely to be the class of the field, which has definitely turned out to be the case. The closest race on track is likely to be Tasso versus Alex at the moment. It's not that close on track. He's got 3 seconds less penalty. If he could just make up a second and a half, a second and 3/10, he would actually be in front of Alex, and that would be a double podium then for Slipstream Racing Team, which would be an absolutely brilliant result. At least potentially pick up the team championship if they can't wrestle the individual championship trophy out of George's hands. If George, that's the other thing that's going to come into play. You've got to finish every race. You've also got to start every race. We don't know what might come into. Oh, we've got a car off. His Stoop has gone off. DNF. Oh, that's such a shame. It's a difficult corner, that left-hander. If you don't get that quite right, the camber throws you off. Really hoping that we would get all 13 cars that started finished, but I can't complain. I have to say I've seen some brilliant racing. I've been really impressed. Go back on board with Alex. No doubt he'll be watching the timing behind him. He knows how far in front he's got to be of Tasso. He'll be able to see on his screen what his penalties are. He can also see what Tasso's penalty is, so knows he's got to finish more than 3 seconds in front of him. Currently that gap sits at 4.4 seconds as we just ran down the last lap. Now actually what I'm being very tactical here. Robbo actually could have backed off and backed Alex into Tasso, and there we go. We got our first winner. Massive congratulations to George, Gear Society Formula 1 2021 Season 1 Race 1 winner. Brilliant job, absolute class of the field, fantastic racing right from free practice all the way through qualifying. Brilliant second place for Robbo. Alex picks up third. Tasso not quite close enough for that penalty to make a difference. Next over the line will be Iceman for Wall Lickers Racing. His teammate Stup 1985 unfortunately didn't finish, so only Iceman's points will count towards the team race, but 5th place is very good in the individual finish. Well done to Iceman. Next up, we've got Fat Bloke Racing. It's now got 12 seconds of penalty. Wow. Fortunately for him, Kingsley behind him has got 9 seconds of penalty, so it should be enough to keep him in the position he's in, as long as he doesn't have an issue around this last bend. Well done, Fat Bloke. And then we've got Kingsley and Duffman. Duffman should actually take 7th position on penalties once he comes across the line. I'll get confirmation on that in a sec. Yeah, MB Pitt says, well done, great race. It really was. Driver of the day, Iceman, because of the positions he's made up. Fantastic performance from him. Yeah, less of that, please, on the podium, showing off. No one likes to see that. Not sure on that dodgy red racing suit. Duffman says, great race, lads. On the Discord, it really was a great race. I have to say, there was some fantastic racing between the drivers there tonight. It was really, really impressive. So, yeah, Jules, the first position. Robo, Alex, Tasso. So, so Duffman did pick up 8th position over Kingsley once those penalties were applied. Savage in 10th. Choice Tag Bro in 11th. Derek in 12th. And actually, Stuck 1985 finished outside the top 10. Didn't actually finish the race, but got the fastest lap. He actually drove the fastest lap of the race with a 1:34.7. Was obviously pushing very, very hard at the end. No doubt that contributed to the off track and in the wall and the wheel off. Yeah, brilliant first race. I'm really looking forward to next Thursday and commentating on this again. Hopefully we can get some of the other drivers in that weren't able to make it tonight. Really impressive. Thank you very much for your attendance and for the messages that have been coming throughout the night on Twitch and on Discord. It's been a pleasure. I've been Fat Bloke Racing the Saint, and I will see you next Thursday night for the next instalment of the Gears F1 2021 League. Thank you. Good night.